Hey, you guys, welcome back. So, I'm going to talk about the hearing really quickly. As long as I don't say his name or target him directly, I'm okay. You guys already know who I'm talking about anyway, so we'll just go from there. Um, so, I did show up on Wednesday, the 26th, I believe it was, um, is whenever my hearing was. I showed up an hour early. Things took a really drastic turn Wednesday morning. Um, I waited 3.5 hours. Finally, about 4 hours in, they finally called me back. For a second, I thought that he didn't show up. And I was like, well, why do I have to stay if he didn't show? So then all of a sudden, I get called back in, and all of a sudden, he comes in from like a back entrance or whatever. He does show up with his wife and with his secretary, and they both took a seat behind him. I arrived alone, and I arrived by myself because I felt like, out of respect, that was just the thing to do. And I wasn't happy that he brought people with him, but that's not my choice. It's not just my hearing, it was his too. So, anyway, you have to keep in mind that I am self representing, okay? And because I haven't signed the NDA yet, that's why it's allowing me to talk to you guys. I thought I signed the NDA, but I didn't. I was just signing off on other information. So as of the time of this video being released, the NDA has not been signed yet. So that's why I get to tell you guys while I can. Basically, he opened with open arguments. His opening argument was 45 minutes long. And he was just like, I don't even know how to describe him. Yeah, he looks like his photo or whatever. Like, it looks exactly like him, yeah. But that's not the point. The point that why we were there today is because he was really upset with me, and he was upset with me because of things that I've done, which he saw on a personal level, but I didn't see it as personal. Anyway, I know I didn't do these things, okay? I know that I didn't go on a live stream and take a pregnancy test and say it was his. I never once did that, nor would I ever do that. That is bizarre and crazy behavior. I would never do something like that. I also know that I never mailed him anything. I never sent him anything by mail. He didn't receive anything. Why it was even part of his argument, I don't understand. I don't even really understand why he took the case in general. I'm like, why did you take the case? If you wanted to help, then why did you only half-ass help me? Like, right when it was time to go to mediation, or what was that called? It starts with an I. I can't remember what it's called, you guys, but there is something that, like, I can't think of the interrogation. No, that's not it. That's not the right word that I'm looking for. But anyway, the way he was going over things, and to have him there right next to me, less than, like, he was 10 feet away from me. I'm like, really? You're attempting to get an EPO on me. You can't stand the thought of me, and you hate me with a passion, and you don't want to quote unquote hurt me. He kept saying over and over and over, he kept saying, I don't want to humiliate her more. Her community does this enough to her. I won't do that to her. And it's like, if you don't want to do this to me, then drop what you're doing, because you know in your heart that I didn't do this. And this is where I get emotional. Hang on. Okay, you guys, sorry about that. I get a little emotional when I think about, like, all of the things that I did not do. Like, I know for a fact that I never took a pregnancy test. You guys would have never let me live it down if I had done that. I never took a pregnancy test, and I never sent him anything in the mail. Never. Never did that once. And that was like his claim, was that those two things, that I was doing those two things. That, anyway, you guys get what I'm trying to say. What happened is I went there and I pled guilty because he started chewing me out like the way my father would chew me out, okay? And I got really, really triggered. So sometimes when I get really, really triggered, I fall back into my old patterns and my old habits and my old ways. And this is what I did with him. He started preaching at me like he was my father. He was saying and doing and saying certain triggering phrases. He even brought up the book in his opening thing. He complained, and what did he say word for word? He said something to the effect of, oh, and now she's talking about knives, which scares me. So he was acting like he was scared of me, yet he was standing less than 10 feet away from me and complaining about me. He kept saying routine things like but it got on my nerves. He said it so much. He even said, like, her stream of consciousness is amazing. He kept saying that over and over. I'm like, why are you acting weird? And then he even said, he literally said, I don't want to hurt her more. Her community embarrasses her enough, and I refuse to hurt her more. And it's like, well, if you don't want to hurt me, then why are you putting me through this? Why? I basically went in, I self-sabotaged, and because I was self-sabotaging, I pled guilty to things I didn't do. So now I have this on my record over things that I didn't do, and I'm supposed to be okay. But people just expect me to be okay with it, and I'm not. Like, I panicked. It may not have looked like panic there in the room during that day, but I was panicking and I was about to cry. So I pled guilty and I left. So now you guys know what happened. There you go. I don't know what else to say. Just, I pled guilty, I panicked, and now I'm suffering the consequences. And I'm waiting for an NDA to be served next. So now you guys know.